Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm going to wait a few minutes. So if you come on the replay, you might want to just kind of like flick forward a little bit. Excuse me. I'm just going to wait a few minutes because I am actually early. I wanted to make sure that the technology was working really, really well. But today this evening, I have a very, very important topic. I think I say that every week. It's all really important. But today, you know what, wherever you are in your health, wherever you are, whether you've just started your journey, whether you've been on your journey for some time, like potentially years or decades, or whether you're here in the group just to get some information and try and do it all yourself. If that's you, this is a very important message tonight, whether or not you decide to work with me in the future to help you shift forward from where you are now to where you want to be. Wherever you are, I feel that belief is an incredibly important part of your journey. Yeah, I feel that it's so important and that's why I wanted to bring this live training tonight. And then later on, we have a beautiful special guest. We have Brenda, who I had the absolute pleasure to work with a few months ago now. She came into my world. She contacted me. She did a Google search and found me on Google, which is great. And she has shifted her health significantly. And we worked together and she implemented everything that I recommended. However, why did she get results really quickly and potentially someone else may not get results as quickly? Now, we can't just define it and say that it's all about belief. We can't just pigeonhole it. However, it's a very large part of it, and I'm going to break it down tonight and explain the reasons why. And hopefully you can gain some inspiration and understanding and perhaps delve into your own health picture and just assess whether what's going on with your mind is actually holding you back or propelling you forward. Okay, we've got some people on. Fantastic. Okay, just please let me know if you're here. Where are you from? Did you see the sun today? Down here or up here in Madawi, the sun was out all day. It was absolutely fantastic. And I was out in the sun. I was just, running out to get glimpses of sun all day. So where are you and did you see the sun? Because here it's been raining for 7 days and today we had sun all day. So it was absolutely beautiful. So here's to sunshine and let's get into it. I'm just checking. Yep, we are on time now. All right, so the subject for tonight is unlock your health abundance and conquer autoimmune thyroid challenges. And I'm going to be really focusing on our mindset. I've been doing a lot of live trainings around the physical elements and the physical pillar, which is very much where we start. It's very much where I practice as a naturopath. However, we also need to factor in to work holistically with you and all individuals. We really need to factor in other elements to healing, which include, the mental, the emotional, and, dare I say, the spiritual as well. But tonight, I'm really going to be factoring in. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep slipping down. I've got my notes here. They keep slipping down. What's your idea? All right, I'm just going to go with it. I really want to focus on mindset and the power of belief, okay? Because using the mind, our mind is really important. Obviously our mind, it provides us with steps, accountability, creativity, flexibility, openness, exploration, understanding, really it kind of orchestrates and propels us forward. But it also has the ability to bring us back. Now, I'm talking about the mind as though it's separate to us, okay? So I'm talking about it as a part of us at the moment. So just hear me out. Like, if we buy into every single story that goes on in our mind, I mean, seriously, if we buy into every single story, who knows where we'd be, or maybe we would be better off. It just depends on the story. It depends on what movie is playing in your mind. And the type of movie and the quality of movie that's actually playing in your mind will depend on all those influencing factors throughout your whole life, stemming from a very early age. Perhaps you've been told something. So, relative to health, perhaps, your doctor or specialist or your family member has said to you, oh, you can't cure autoimmune disease. Like, it's once you've got it, that's it. Excuse me, you've got it for life. Oh, hi, Sharon. Hi, Linda. Oh, I can see the comments. Yay. Fantastic. Glad to see you here. So yeah, it's just really, really something to consider and something to be aware of, because when we're aware of the story that's going on in our mind, we can then decide whether that's actually serving us or not. All right. Now, so for example, if you hold, like for example, I know a couple of months ago now, I had a discussion with somebody that I know. She's not a client, but somebody that I know, kind of connected to the family, who has a thyroid condition. And before we even got into any conversation, I hadn't seen this person for quite some time. Straight away, this person said to me, "Oh yeah," because I knew that there was thyroid issues. This person said, "Yep, I have Hashimoto's, and the doctor says it's incurable, and I believe that." And kind of like put a full stop, like, let's not go there. And I thought, like, if that belief for that person was so powerful that it's incurable, and that's it, that's her lot in life, right? So where do I go with that? Like, how can I, like, the door was shut, there wasn't even an opening to even explore. So I think everybody has a door that's either wide open to explore, or a little bit open, or a little bit shut. I feel that it's just good to always maintain that level of curiosity, because if we just completely block ourselves off from any possibility because of what we think and what we believe in our mind, well, it's going to be really hard to heal, because if we're just taking supplements but we don't have belief, how, like, the two need to marry. It's like a marriage. They need to partner up. There needs to be not just belief for you, like in you, but also belief in me, or a practitioner, for example, in you, a belief in them, and the actual energy within the container that you and the health practitioner, whether or not you're working with me or not, actually hold together that space. Now, does this make sense? Let me know if this makes sense. Okay, hear me out. I'm just gonna talk this through. So let me just break it down. So when we let's say we've had a particular condition forever and a day, and we know that this is the signs and symptoms, and this is happening, and it's kind of comfortable but uncomfortable, but it's what we know. It's what we know. And then there's an opportunity to potentially stretch what you know, to have some curiosity, to explore another realm. But then there's something inside of us that kind of throws us into fear. What if it doesn't work? What if I can't do it? What if doing that is just going to change my whole identity? What if I don't have enough time and I actually can't do all the things I need to do? And all of this kind of chatter, all this kind of stuff that just goes on to kind of spiral us back into, oh, well, you know what? I'm here. Like, it's not too bad. Yeah. Yeah. I don't really live my best life. I'm not 100%, but yeah, I'm okay. Like, I'm still alive. I mean, Seriously, who wants that? Seriously, like, my wish for every single person that comes into my world is to actually come out the other side and live and be living their best life, to be feeling and living in that health abundance, to actually, be feeling so much better than what they were. Yeah, because this the difference between being in that kind of uncomfortably comfortable zone and really stepping through that fear of the what ifs, the what, the buts, the what ifs, what if I spend this money and there's absolutely no change? Like, that's another one. Like, what if this, what if that? But if we actually break through that fear barrier that typically is around, it's like if you imagine a circle, you've got your comfort zone and fear wraps around it, because fear is there. It's a primal instinct. It's there to keep us safe. It's there to kind of keep us safe and small. It's there to kind of keep us contained. But if we were brave enough to break through that fear, guess what happens then? We actually get to the learning. And the learning is understanding more about your body, seeing why this is actually throwing up as this sign or this symptom, and really looking underneath that to find the lesson that your body is trying to tell you, to learn the lesson. This is just another way of looking at it. We can look at it purely from an anatomical, pathophysiological point of view, biochemical point of view, but I feel that there's another piece. So tonight I'm exploring that other piece. Okay. And then when we learn more about our body and we have that acute understanding, we can put these different steps in place. So that's where we use the mind to propel us forward. Okay. And that's where we get growth in terms of, acceleration of our health. We understand more about what's going on in our body, and we're actually able to attain a new area of health and wellness, which gives us confidence to then keep going and stay on that trajectory, and then look back and go, oh, wow, imagine if I hadn't been brave enough to step through that fear, to learn more about my body, to uncover potentially some past traumas, even some potential, self-sabotaging habits that you are unaware of, to actually make considerable change. And guess what? Nobody likes change, but sometimes, if we're actually brave enough to explore that area, it can be for the better. So I'm now going to just talk about, how do we know whether it's right for us? How do we know? Well, this is where I believe that the heart key. We've got the beautiful Brenda coming in here, but I'm not quite ready for Brenda. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to bring Brenda in. I'm just going to bring Brenda in as I Hey Brenda, I'm not quite ready for our interview, but I've just brought you in. So I'll just let you, get organized there. Hi Brenda, how are you?
I'm great. And you?
Brenda, I'm just going to introduce you now, and then I'm going to go back to finishing my point. I can't believe it's that time already. Brenda's my beautiful client that I was I was actually introducing you earlier, and I was talking about how you were able to really accelerate your healing. And I feel that, obviously we worked together, there was alignment, there was trust, there was that beautiful container where we were in it together, and I was propelling you forward and you were taking on all the key pieces. But overriding all of that, or not really overriding, may I say underpinning all of that, was your belief and your mindset and your, I can do this. And that's just going to bring me to this next point. I was just explaining that I believe the heart is the key and the mind is the door. We need the key to unlock the door. So we need to feel in alignment to what we're doing and why we're doing it. And really, I feel, tap into that beautiful space where the body knows. Because if we actually listen to the chitter chatter up here, which can sometimes spiral us out and put us into overwhelm and put us into that fear that we can't do it, that this is our lot in life, that we're never going to get well, and panic. And then, if anyone goes down the road where there's, the big C, the cancer, that's, people spiral out of control then. But if we actually just get out of the mind, tap into the heart and actually feel into our body and feel what we believe is to be true and possible for us, and then we can get into alignment, and then we can move forward, as opposed to just going into that spiraled story in our mind. And I just wanted to go into this because I was reading about this the other day, and I feel that it actually inspired me to do this live training. So I do need to go into this. So I was reading about the power of placebo and belief. And I found it really interesting. I was reading this, it was in Pizzorno Murray's book. I love this book. It's a really good textbook of natural health. It was, it's a great book. Anyway, I'm just going to read this. This is what they said. This is when it's actually been scientifically studied, the placebo effect. And this is a quote. When we dissected the placebo effect a number of years ago, we found three basic components. One, the belief and expectation of the patient. Two, the belief and expectation of the physician or practitioner. And three, the interaction between the physician and the patient. When these are in concert, the placebo effect is operative. Perhaps nothing is being transmitted from the healer to the patient, but rather it's the belief the patient has in the healer that's helpful. So you can look at that through a kaleidoscope, and you can come up with so many different scenarios of that. But the fact of the matter is belief is powerful. Belief in yourself and your ability to heal is powerful. And when we marry that with some proven strategies, some holistic strategies, and some, what we understand in science, and then, and then we marry that with someone who can actually show you the way, absolutely. Like, how can you not then expand your healing capacity? Yeah. So I did promise some holistic strategies, so I'm just going to go into that before I bring Brenda in to discuss her story, because it's really, really powerful and important. But what I wanted to say was, if we take control of the mind and listen to our intuition and our heart, and actually connect in, and actually really connect with the actual body part or organ that's misbehaving, all right? Rather than seeing it as something separate to us, or something that is just stuffed in our body, or something that is just, this is bad genes. And, what about just looking at it as it's a part of us, and our body being the avatar for us to live in? It's our best home. We can never, ever get a better home than our body. Just seeing it as a part of us, and actually building a relationship with that. Like, even asking your body, like, what do you need? And this is where the messages are with health, because I feel that whether you have a thyroid condition, overactive, underactive, digestive issues, anything that's going on, of course, as I've always mentioned, we need to look at the physical elements. We need to look at the physical layers of what's actually causing that. But underneath that, there's something else going on. And if you really tune in and be quiet and listen in to your body, more often than not, you'll get a message. A message is in, like, I don't know, you might wake up and go, oh yeah, that's an interesting thought. Or you might just, have an instinct to read something that actually takes you down a path. Yeah, it's all very interesting. And let me know if you resonate. Yeah, this is a little bit left of field, but let me know if you resonate, because I just feel that if we just looked at ourselves as just purely biological, I don't know, there would be an easy fix for everyone if anyone had a disease or a problem. But there's always so many elements to honor with that. So yeah, so I here's what I'm going to say. Like if feeling into your own, and this is whether again, like whether or not you okay, here are three important questions to ask yourself. Like, do you believe that you can live your best life, that live an amazing life, live life in health abundance? Do you feel that you can do that? And do you believe that that's worth it for other people around you? Right? These are really important questions because this is going to help motivate you. And then do you believe that someone working with you that you trust and that are in alignment with you can help you get there? Whether it's with me or whether it's with someone else, it doesn't matter. Do you believe that? Because with that partnership, with your belief system, and then with someone who you really trust and are in alignment with, you're absolutely going to get the help and the support and the guidance to help your health improve 100%. And the underpinning feature of that is the placebo studies that have been done. Because if we do that, then with all the proven strategies that are known to help different disease process, like the physical layers, well, then it's just going to propel you forward so much more. So the mind can get in the way or it can propel you forward. So if you feel that ever, and I've heard this with clients and just people that I've come across, you can absolutely buy into a story and spiral out. And before you know it, you're just thinking the worst. You're thinking the worst case scenario. And if that's ever happening to you, the best thing to do is to trip your system into parasympathetic nervous system mode, which is lay your back on the floor, toes up in the air, like feet up, tongue to the roof of your mouth. Like even if you do that now, if we all do that now, like if you have your feet flat on the floor, right? Because we're sitting in a chair. And if you actually, with your feet, if your toes are actually off the floor, so your toes are pointing up. So you actually, sorry, I'll say it again. I'll rephrase it. Your heels are on the floor. So your toes are up. And then your tongue is at the roof of your mouth, right? That automatically brings you into that calm parasympathetic nervous system mode, because you can't run away from anything because your feet, you're not kind of like ready to run because your feet are, you're resting on your heels and your tongue is relaxed at the top of your mouth. Can everybody feel that? Brenda, you're with me. Can you feel that? Yeah, so it's just a simple strategy. If you feel that you're just spiraling out of control and buying into your mind stories and panicking as opposed to knowing what's actually true. And then when you do that, you're going to allow yourself to calm down and then tune into your heart, your seat of intuition, in with your body, and then you're just going to calm yourself down and just feel what's right. Feel what's right, because the body knows. The body actually knows. Yeah. All right, so I haven't gone over everything. I'm going to have to make these trains a little bit longer, or I'm going to have to just get a little bit more succinct. So I'm going to bring in Brenda now. So Brenda, we started working together several months ago, and after being diagnosed with severe Graves' disease early this year, Brenda sought out my services and we've been working together. And Brenda has significantly reduced her medication and is back to her old self and thriving.
Yay!
Absolutely thriving. So I'm just I'm gonna be asking Brenda. Thank you so much, Brenda, for coming on tonight.
I'm
Yeah,
excited to share, actually. Yeah, thank you.
yeah, thank you. I've literally asked Brenda yesterday, so yeah,
It's all good.
very, very grateful. So I just wanted to, first of all, just for the viewers and those who may not have read your beautiful testimonial, just walk me through your story, like with your thyroid challenge, because it must have been really scary when you started to get those really debilitating signs and symptoms. And, to begin with, you went down the biomedical road and then you were told a few things that could have easily kept you in that comfort, it's not really, it's like an uncomfortable comfort zone because it's too fearful to step outside of that because you were told X, Y, Z. But then you decided, also, Brenda works in the health field. So, but then you decided to look elsewhere. So just walk us through that story, just a, few minutes
Sure,
through that story. Yeah.
sure. Thanks again for having me. Um, yeah, it hit me really bad. I couldn't move. I was on I couldn't hold my head up. So I was on the lounge. Uh, yeah, physically, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't think. I couldn't eat. My hair was just coming out in handfuls. There was a lot going on, and it was pretty scary. And I just went to a doctor to get a label because maybe, unlike what you said, maybe I just was going to go down an easy track. I actually don't like going to the doctor. So I am going on medication and things like that, but I was just so weak. I just had to do it. I felt like that was my first port of call
Yep,
to
absolutely.
find out what's going on and, well, what can they do? And I was actually told I was going to be on medication for the rest of my life, um, and that there was no heal for it. They knew they didn't even know what created it. They don't have an answer to what creates it, right? So, but as I said, it was good because those synthetic medications stabilized my heart. That was the other thing. My heart was off the Richter scale.
Yeah.
I panted, I was panting and I was doing nothing
Mm.
because of the heart racing. But all that was stabilized, probably within 2 weeks of
Yep.
taking the medication. But because, I'm a hypnotherapist, I've been in that sort of arena, that type of arena for a long time. And I knew that food is medicine,
Mm.
and I knew the power of herbal mixtures. I just didn't have a naturopath, you know. So I found an amazing one. Yay. Yeah. And straight away I felt trust with you, Megan. I was pretty weak when I came to see you. I don't know if you you probably saw the difference.
Yeah.
But you knew all things thyroid, and I knew you knew what you were talking about.
Mm.
Um, you did, and you've kind of got this gentle yet strong approach, where it's like, well, I'm not going to let you get away with anything. This is what I know, and this is what you need to do. But you have a really gentle way of getting that message across. And yeah, I left there knowing that I was in good hands after that first appointment.
And which is beautiful. And you know, with your belief, did it
Mm,
give you the confidence? Did you have a glimmer of, what was going on in your mind? Because you'd just been told the week before that there was no cure and you were going to be on medication for the rest of your life.
yeah,
So, and you know, I was there as a supporting network for you, but really you came up with your thought process yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're weak, you can, as you said, go into fear or depression, or, when I approached it from the therapy point of view, even with the conscious mind, it was like, well, what do you picture, Brenda, when you think of Graves' disease? And you know what I saw? A whole row of graves,
It's a horrible name, isn't it?
right? And it was like, right.
Name.
So
Yeah.
what other picture can you think of? Or what other name could you call it that doesn't give you that picture, you know? So things like that. Once I got to my Bibles, secret language of body, and you know, all this information on autoimmune that I had, yeah, I was able to change that, I guess, that fear or that negative space that you do get in when you're so weak and so sick.
Absolutely, because there's, the mind absolutely could have propelled you either way. And
Mm,
potentially, because you've got some foundational, like pillars and your training, you knew that, you had the foresight or the insight to know that your mind could easily have taken you that way. And you were able to go, no, and then flip it. Flip it.
that's
I mean,
right.
there's so much to be said for the power of positivity and
Yeah,
positive thinking.
yeah,
You know, I mean, we
yeah.
hear of people all the time, like healing, from debilitating diseases just through, obviously there's strategies, there's always that, but there's a belief. There's a belief.
Mm,
And, I'm not, I mean, look, I'm not saying everyone, I mean, look, we can't just say that it's the same for everyone because we all have a whole different matrix of situations and like with whatever's happened in the past, where we are now. So I'm certainly not saying that this is a one size fits all either. However, I feel that, and especially it's just such a great example with you as well, it's just accelerated your progress. I mean, clearly excuse me, I've got an itchy nose. Clearly we've used herbs and all of these things and diet and lifestyle and put all those strategies in place. But I feel that because you had that positivity and really shifted your thought pattern and your belief pattern around what is possible, and you didn't buy into the story of medication for the rest of your life, no cure,
yeah,
you
yeah,
kind of the other way. I feel that that's really propelled you forward.
yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
So, what would you say, like with your healing journey?
Mm.
When did you feel the biggest shift? Like, when was the biggest shift, or or the biggest win? Like the win where you realize that, oh, you are over the hump, and it's like, oh wow, I can see that I'm actually there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
I think from memory, it was about 2 weeks after the medication and the herbal mixture together.
Yep.
Um, yeah, there was one day it was like, oh, I'm sitting up more today,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah. There's
because
some
the
physical improvements.
yeah, yeah. So it
Yeah.
was gradual.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were definitely, yeah, those lines in the sand, I guess, where there was the next level of better, you know.
Yeah, okay. And then
Yeah,
you're able to see, oh, okay, oh, it gets better. And then you'll be able to look back and say, oh, it gets better again. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
And then you had your thyroid tested again. Yeah, you did some results and everything. I remember you calling me and you were really over the moon because everything was back to normal ranges and your
yeah.
medication had reduced as well.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Along with the doctor, we reduced the medication, and yeah, and I knew anyway before he said that I was ready to.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't take any heart medication now.
yeah.
Haven't done for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, so
And
just for the viewers, it's a typical line of action to for doctors. Like I don't prescribe medications, just in case I don't do that. But I often work with clients, especially when you're really in that acute stage. With a GP, and that's a typical medication that's prescribed is like a beta blocker to help the racing heart, to help those symptoms. And then there's also the other one, the carbamazole as well. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, so even though I'm a naturopath, and for those of you who have stuck around and been in my circle for a long time, You know, I mean, I'm not anti-medication. I feel that everything has a place. You know, everything has a place, and it's just a matter of how long does that need to be in my body for to help me bring back that homeostasis, to help my body actually go, oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I need to do, you know, before we can actually wean off that again. Or is it for life? You know, like everything has a place and it's unique and individual for each person as well. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, so I just wanted to ask you, yeah, so do you have anything else to add with the, your health journey?
Well, yeah, basically just, we're following on from that question about my biggest wins, I think besides meeting you and regaining my energy, I love my new food regime. I love the food I eat. I love still having hair. I love being able to get off the ground or off the toilet without support to get up, you know?
So you're getting your
So,
strength back. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Um, but I think some tips, if you'd like some tips from me, I think food prep was invaluable
yeah,
to help me stick with the program.
yeah. Like
And
setting yourself up for the week.
yeah, yeah, not scrimping on food, buying good organic food if you can. Meditate daily, which is something you reminded me to do. Um, again, because that helps with the intuition of, okay, as you said, things pop in. Oh, maybe I need to do this. Often that'll happen in that quiet time.
Yeah,
Um, and certainly it did. Um, Hypnosis or any other, um, form of or modality that will help with your mindset is really important. Making that decision that I am responsible and I have the power to be, do, have whatever I choose. I don't, as you said before, not having to buy into a story that somebody's given me, you know?
yeah. Or buy into a story that you've created just based on influences from other people in your life that you are unaware of. Yeah, because sometimes what we do is we take on stories from typically from our parents, typically, or if we're in a workspace for a considerable amount of time, and it's just we're human beings, we're sensitive beings, we just take on belief systems without realizing. I don't know whether it's actually called that, but we just take on information, and sometimes
Mm.
it can influence what happens in our mind.
Yeah, yeah, and from a metaphysical perspective, and I'm not sure if that means anything to anyone, but yeah, it's because of what the mind has perceived, and what's been created up to the age of 7, basically. Um, those patterns that we create throughout life, actually, then if they're a negative, they can eventually affect our body, and once you can understand that and accept that, it's like, well, okay, I'm an adult. I can now make different choices, you know, and seek help to make different choices, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's just so wonderful to see you doing so well. I'm not going to keep you, where it's late. We're not going to,
Yeah.
stay until midnight or anything like that.
Mm.
So I don't want to keep you, but thank you so much for coming on. And just one last question, if I may ask. What advice do you have for people listening right now? Like if somebody listening right now is in not living their best life, that they may have a chronic health condition, you know, related to thyroid or symptoms of thyroid, um, what advice do you have any advice for the people listening, either on now or on replay?
Find a way to work with Megan. Honestly, uh, your holistic approach and your guidance is brilliant, and your commitment to your clients. Very important, though, that the client has the same level of commitment as you said. So
Yeah.
get committed, get on to Megan, have a chat. She's got so many different ways to help you.
Yeah. Well,
And I say that with all sincerity. And thank you.
thank you. That's so beautiful, Brenda. And do you know what? I'm just gonna add to what Brenda said there. I mean, it's so beautiful. Like if anybody, like I invite people on to have a call with me, and the reason why I do that is so that we can actually explore your health picture and see whether we're a great fit. And do you know what? Like if for whatever reason there's a misalignment or you don't feel like I'm the right person for you, that's totally okay. That's totally okay, because do you know what? There will be someone out there. You know, I feel that it's just important to have someone that you feel really aligned with, and you feel that there's a level of trust so that you can work together in a container for the same goal of getting you well, getting you back to health, getting you to live your best life. Yeah, getting that joy back into your life. And I feel that's the goal. That's the goal. So when I put it out there pretty much every week, if you'd like to have a chat, book a chat. Like I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to meet you and for you to meet me. And if it's a great fit, then it's your decision whether we move forward, or at the very least, I'll give you a next step for you to move forward on. So that being said, if you're feeling like if you've taken on board what Brenda's had to say tonight and you feel like you would like some support and some help with your health, just write thyroid or just write help. I really got to get these keywords organized. Just write help, and then we can have a discussion. And, at the end of the day, if it works, we can move forward. If there's a mismatch or if it feels like it's just not quite the right fit, I've got a wealth of practitioners within my field, and I can give you the best person that I feel that would be good for you to go and meet. So yeah, so I feel that at the end of the day, it's about belief. It's about believing in yourself, believing that this is absolutely something that's worth fighting for, so that you can actually, because I feel that health abundance is available to everyone. Absolutely. That's my belief. I believe that we have so many tools on this beautiful planet, and it's about just finding that way and journeying through, learning the lessons, and actually getting a proven, getting a strategy and a pathway and a plan for you to actually go, okay, this is my next step. Oh, this is my next step. This is my next step. And for someone to hold space for you to actually do that. Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of length of time, we know that, we know that we need to start somewhere. And, for some people, it's quick. Brenda's already on her way. You're kind of, it's what I call over the hump, where you know that what you're doing is working. So
Yeah.
Brenda's literally crafted her dietary and lifestyle blueprint with me so that she knows that this is what she does that actually helps her continue. And we've still got the herbs going. They'll probably go for a little while just as a little supporting bridge. And then eventually, they will probably drop off, because you won't need them anymore. That's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we have
Absolutely.
what's called a constitutional mix, which is just like something that helps support you, helps support your nervous system, your immune system. And this is really a goal for everybody. You kind of have a stage where we're really working holistically. We're working at all angles and all levels, and then it comes to a point where it's like, you know what, you know yourself so well. You've really tapped into that intuition, and you really know that this is right for you. This is not going to serve you. That you've crafted your diet lifestyle blueprint, and you know that this is going to actually give you the longevity and give you the health abundance. So yeah, that's where it's at. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on this evening, Brenda.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I'm very, very grateful. And if anyone watching this tonight, if anyone has any questions for Brenda, Brenda's actually in this group. So feel free to tag her if you've got any questions. And certainly if you want to, you know, have a chat. Hey, Lisa. Lisa's here. Woohoo. Beautiful. Lisa and I go way back. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, certainly if you have got any questions, let's just keep this going. Let's just, keep this going. If you're coming back in later on and watching the replay, just do a hashtag replay. Drop any questions or comments. I'll just be circling back to see what's coming through, and we can help you propel forward. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. That's it from us tonight. Thanks again, Brenda. I've kept you on a lot
You're
longer
welcome.
than today. I think I said
No
10 or
problem.
15.
It's all good.
All right. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.